Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shadowed City Podcast. I am your host, Larry, and this is The Shadows Within. A few announcements before we get started with the shows, as I'm going to go over All-Star Pro, HOH, and GUW. We will be having possibly a Dark City Cinema sometime in the future. I'm not sure when, but stay tuned for that. I also got some announcements regarding Breaking Kayfabe, which I'll announce after I go over the shows. DSEW is going to have its first house show after so long, so stay tuned for that. We're eventually going to get shows up and running. Lewis is creating everything. TPW Takedown will be this coming week, hopefully, with the shows Wolf's Den, Vixen's Flames, MTM, the MTM pay-per-view, Men versus Women, Vixen's Flames versus Wolf Den's cross-brand show. Let's get into it. We'll start with All-Star Pro. And that was All-Star Pro Unlimited 1, Season 4. We had the Savage John Robb versus Juan Sanchez, my apologies. And John Robb walked away victorious. We also had RFL versus Bailey Nelson, with RFL walking away victorious. Adrian Danger versus Jake King, with Adrian Danger walking away victorious. Keith Hunt versus Big Lou, with Big Lou walking away victorious. Bishop Blaze versus 5-star AJ Woods, with AJ Woods walking away victorious. Ace Thompson versus Buster Anderson, with Ace Thompson walking away victorious. Ronan Reaper versus Cold Steel, with Cold Steel walking away victorious. Emma Rose versus Amaya Bryant, with Amaya Bryant walking away victorious. Derek Sicario versus Jack Graves, with Derek Sicario walking away victorious. HOH GCW North American Championship, Adam Skull versus Lil Devil, with Lil Devil walking away victorious. The Monster versus Alexander versus Big Lou, with Alexander walking away victorious. Ice Front versus the Skull Syndicate versus Big Oos and Ryan Kai versus the Demonic Brothers in a fatal 4-way tornado tag elimination. Ice Front walked away victorious. Blaze Vortex versus Ace Cannon for the GCW Continental Championship, as Ace Cannon is the champion, but Blaze Vortex walked out the new champion. Jaquil versus Chaotic, with Chaotic walking away victorious. Bobo the Clown versus Eddie Walker for the GCW Intercontinental Championship, Eddie Walker the champion, retaining the gold. Carnage, Ty Badaz, if however you say that name, I hope I'm saying it correctly, and Blaze versus the Graves Tribe, Damian Graves, Britt Graves, and Jack Graves in a 6-person mixed tornado tag. Ty Badaz, Carnage, and Blade walked away victorious. Link versus Gage versus Mason Payne, with Gage walking away victorious. Frost versus Buster Anderson, with Frost walking away victorious. In a steel cage HOH Heavyweight Championship on the line, Turtle Harrington versus the champion Carnage, with Turtle Harrington walking out the new champion. Now, GUW Equinox debut show, number 1 contenders fatal 4-way for the All or Nothing Championship. Warren Peace versus Elijah McFly versus Kopi versus Jakob, with Jakob walking away victorious. Alan Shaw versus Shady Shaw McKenzie versus the Ministry of Pandemus, Dagon and Spawn, with the Ministry of Pandemus walking away victorious. Number 1 contenders fatal 4-way, Dante Black versus Rory Shaw versus RJ Colbart versus Nate Sawyer, with Dante Black walking away victorious. Proving Grounds Championship, Johnny Flashback versus Deviant versus the champion Jack Graves, with Johnny Flashback walking out the new champion. Champion versus champion, Mawson Miller versus Hybrid, with Mawson Miller walking away victorious. Now, as for my guest on Breaking Kayfabe, I have 3 lined up. And they are Sylphrina will be on April 1st. Hex will be on, Sylphrina will be on March 31st, next Tuesday. Hex will be April 1st, Wednesday. And then on Saturday that week, on April 4th, I will have Hybrid. Stay tuned for that. They should all be good. Welcome, Amy Potts. I just got done telling everybody who's going to be on Breaking Kayfabe, and I just ran over some shows. A possible Dark City Cinema in the future. Stay tuned for that. Yeah, that's really what I had to go over, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope everybody has a great day, good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever y'all may be. Peace out.